please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the doors. Stay clear of the doors. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and this is episode number 213 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on another beautiful Monday morning. Today is August the 5th, 2024, and as we speak right now, we have hunkered down for a bit of a tropical storm here in the Orlando area. It looked to me like we looked at it, the projections, and Debbie's going to be sweeping a little bit north of us, but we're still probably going to get some weather. So hopefully everybody stays safe, stays dry, and it's not going to impact you if you are here in the area visiting Walt Disney World or Universal. So with all that being said, we got a big show cooked up for you today. Lots of news, lots of exciting reviews. But before we get to any of that stuff, I've got to welcome in my co-hosts, and let's do that right now. Let's start with the one with the very cool purple mini ears right now, and that is, of course, Steffers. Steffers, welcome to the monorail.
Hello. Everyone was festive, so I decided to be festive too.
We are very festive today. Yeah, well, we're on camera. We're recording video. We're going to be posting this to YouTube and probably using some of the clips and stuff. So a whole new feature of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. If you haven't already, go sign up for the YouTube Monday Morning Monorail podcast. You can see our beautiful faces and our cool merch that we're wearing today. We're all in cool merch because we're cool kids. And speaking of cool kids, here's the coolest one of them all. Let's welcome in Landon the Dawes Doan. Landon, welcome to the monorail.
I appreciate somebody finally calling me cool 39 years into my existence. Hi, everybody. Coming from the isolation station of love. It's me. It's the DOZ, and it's a Monday morning. You know what that means. And am I hearing this correctly? We're on camera right now?
That's true. Hearing and seeing it correctly.
Well, I'm glad I'm wearing pants this time. So do not want to get us demonetized on YouTube.
Yeah. For those of you who are joining us on YouTube and you want to take a look, I want to show you this shirt that I picked up yesterday. Because, by the way, I was in Hollywood Studios yesterday and all the Halloween merch is out. I think they put it out August 1st. Like, it's beautiful. And and this year, I really am digging the Halloween merch at Disney World. This probably will not be the last purchase I make, but let's show it right now. Take a look at this beautiful shirt.
That is a sharp shirt.
Oh, that's the wrong show. Sorry, I was going to say something inappropriate.
I don't like candy corn, but I think that the color pattern candy corn is pretty cool. It's got a little witch hat over on the Mickey in the Disney, and I think it's a very cool. It feels great too. It's like a stretchy material. I'm doing a sales job. I'm not getting any kickbacks for this merch, but I'm just excited. I had an Oktoberfest beer yesterday.
It
Halloween
feels way
is
too
here.
early for all of this, if I'm being completely honest.
It was only 98 degrees in the theme park yesterday, which feels totally appropriate for Halloween, but it was still a good time. Casey had never been to the Hollywood Brown Derby, so we sat out. Yeah, we sat out on the patio and we had a couple appetizers, and she did the martini flight, and then she got the grapefruit cake martini. I mean, all great choices. I had to talk her into the grapefruit cake martini because she thought it'd be too sweet, and I was like, "It's actually pretty balanced. It has like a nice tartness to it. It is sweet, but I don't think it's overly sweet. And I think it's pretty good. If you haven't had the grapefruit cake martini at Hollywood Brown Derby, I recommend giving it a try. And plus, I like pink drinks, and it's pink. So
I think I did the margarita mojito. They have a different kind of flight. I did the other flight that they have.
Yeah, they have a margarita flight too.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, Yeah, they have several flights. I have not had the margarita flight, but when I took the Lotus a few years ago down on her trip, we made a point to go to Hollywood Brown Derby, and she got the margarita flight, and her being my mom, she let me have a sip of all of it. Very good. While I enjoyed the previously mentioned martini flight, very good as well. What appetizers and or entrees, ? Did y'all do?
We just got 2 appetizers, and so we went with the crab louis, which was really good. It's like this lump crab meat, and they have this bread that they give you with it and a sauce. It's like this really crusty toast, and you can put the crab meat on the toast and then put some of the sauce on it. It was great. And then we also got the burrata, and if you like burrata, their burrata is delicious. So
Burrata.
it's hard to go wrong with burrata. Yeah. We were going to share a Cobb salad, but I think we thought we were going to get food elsewhere, and then we ended up not doing it. So it probably would have been a good idea for us to have a little more food, but no, it was fun. We were sort of celebrating. I did a real man activity yesterday. I changed one of Casey's tires.
Wow. Good for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. She ran over a screw, and she was like, I guess I have to call AAA. And I was like, AAA? What are you talking
Here
about?
comes manly Justin Monorail.
Yeah.
Look at these guns.
Exactly.
I'm going to put these guns to use and change out your tire, baby.
Listen,
all
I
right,
don't
to celebrate, I'm going to go get my pink drink at
Exactly.
Hollywood Brown Derby.
Yeah. Look, you may not have realized it, but you got free front row passes to the gun show, and I'm about to show you these things go to work on some lug nuts.
You heard of D's nuts? How about lug nuts, baby?
I hate it here. This is my formal resignation.
So yeah, I had to celebrate my manliness by going to have a pink drink at Hollywood Studios.
It's the only way to celebrate something like that, right?
Yeah, a little crab louis, a little burrata, a little pink drink. Yeah, feeling good. Feeling good about my manhood.
As you should. As you should.
Hey, she said it was doing something for her. She said, she didn't expect I had it in me that I could change it. I was like, are you kidding me? Come on.
Honestly,
I'm full
I
of
don't
surprises.
think any of us had thought you had it in you. So good job, buddy.
This really adds another check mark to the Daddy Monorail moniker here. So I'm done with this tire changing conversation.
All right.
That's definitely going to go on the Wikipedia.
Oh, do we have somebody working on a Wikipedia for us? I'd love for that to happen.
Probably not, but I hear other podcasts I listen to talk about how they have a Wikipedia. So fans of the monorail, get on that.
Yeah.
I'm giving you homework.
We need someone to take the initiative and get that set up for us. Hey, speaking of fans of the monorail and the monorail fam at large, something else pretty cool happened. I guess it was right at the start of the weekend. There was an interesting little surprise meetup that none of us knew was about to happen.
Oh, you were talking about the conversation that occurred in the chat.
No. That's a Discord only conversation,
Thank
people.
Goodness.
If you aren't part of the Discord.
Yeah, y'all really need to get in on the Discord. Y'all are missing out on some wild conversations.
No, but one of our friends that's in the Discord made a surprise, in-person appearance with one Steffers. Steffers, you got to meet Katrina.
I did. I really did. I will say it was a surprise to y'all. But we were trying to hang out before I went to Oregon, not Washington. And
Same
time,
thing. It is.
Time wasn't on our side. So it was one of those last minute, hey, you want to do this? Okay, sure.
That's
so
awesome.
We went out and we tried this new place that we both haven't been to. And now we're plotting our Disney takeover.
Sweet. You're going to be down there at the same time at some point, or are you?
So we're trying to convince each other to invest in an annual pass because did you know if you only go 8 days,
that's the break-even point?
Yeah, because a park hopper ticket for 1 day is like $210 or some ridiculous amount. So 8 days, anytime I want to go. Just saying.
As an out-of-state AP owner, I would definitely encourage you to look into that. I definitely feel like I get my money's worth every year out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our plotting. I'm also plotting some other stuff, but I gotta figure out my life before I discuss those because I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. The select few that know, well, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah.
Correct.
I have to assume that eventually, when inevitably, Steffers, you and Katrina come down to visit Walt Disney World, I'll be out of town, most likely, and I won't get to be part of that.
Only the Dillos that don't lump me in.
And Landon.
Landon.
You saw Landon in April, wasn't? You were there for his birthday, right? The Lotus birthday trip. Was that not this year? Yeah, there you go.
No, you didn't come down for your birthday this year, did you? When was that?
I did come down for my birthday this year. Yeah,
I'm old.
After I lived at work for a week and a half due to a snow and ice storm, my mom took pity on me. It's like, you know what? You need something nice in your life after all that. Yeah, so she took me to Disney World.
Listen, we love the Lotus, and there you go. And also, there's already one definite trip in which we are all congregating together. So,
8 months from now. Yeah, but sure.
Listen.
Yeah, and who knows if we'll all be alive at that point.
Listen. I'm tired. I'm just trying to make... All right. Anyway, we'll see.
But you're right.
She's tired. She's making bread. Literally, in the other room, she's making bread.
I really am.
Oh, this is a weird flashback. We're having a little virtual happy hour here. Steffers is making bread. What is this, COVID again? We're back in COVID times.
If you're listening to this episode, as you should, because clearly if you're not listening, you won't know what I'm talking about, I will post a picture of my focaccia when I get a chance. And then I'm making a loaf of normal bread, but I don't know if that's going to come out well. So we're going to pretend like you only heard the focaccia part.
Steffers, I just want to give you this advice. Never post your focaccia for free. You got to charge people if you're posting focaccia on Maine.
But Landon post hit. Never mind.
Yeah, and I put that behind the OnlyFans for the sexy Quaker Oats guy.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We're a little wacky today, but that just means we're in for a good episode. And a big chunk of the episode is talking about the Central Florida theme park news. So I think it is time to jump into the news. That's right, dreamers. We're back again with the headlines from the Central Florida theme parks, and we're bringing them to you right here on this episode of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. We're going to do as we normally do, and that's start over in Walt Disney World. As I mentioned, Hurricane Debbie, well, I think it's Tropical Storm now. I don't know if it's quite upgraded yet to Hurricane Debbie, but it is sort of causing a little havoc here in the Central Florida area. I do think the path is sweeping it north, and it's not going to cause any major problems for people down here in Central Florida, but we are going to get some rain, and I think most of it's going to happen in the next 24 hours. So if you're listening to this Monday morning, it may have already sort of passed. And I would just say, if you travel to Florida in the summer, you've got to prepare yourself, and you're going to go to Disney, you've got to prepare yourself for the possibility of pop-up rainstorms, which can be pretty heavy at times. So hopefully people are here, have the supplies, you've got your poncho, your umbrella, whatever it may be, but you got to be ready for those 3:00 afternoon storms that we typically get every day. And so if you are prepared for that, you're going to be okay in this case. I don't think it's going to cause any issues other than that. Oh, as a side note, just speaking of storms impacting theme parks, did you all see Dollywood got flooded? Yes. There was a really heavy rainstorm that happened. I think it was 4 or 5 inches over the course of an hour or something. And the park was underwater. It was insane. Not only
the park, part of the parking lot as well. I mean, people were having to evacuate Dollywood, and good on Dollywood cast members, team members, whatever the employees are called. They are working with members of the public who had their cars damaged due to standing water. It was quite insane. Yeah. I mean, y'all know what I do for a living. I work at a radio station in East Tennessee. That was definitely one of the leading stories when we got to work on Monday was Dollywood was underwater. That was nuts.
Yeah. It was on CNN. It was a headline, a national headline that had happened. So
yeah, it's not every day that
I will say
it is kind of every day in some parts of Magic Kingdom flooding, but still, yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
Correct. Well, also by Hard Rock at Universal, not to play favorites here, but also it floods like in the resort area. That's
really?
Let me tell you, I think what year was it? 2019? Was it that year that we went, or 2021 when we went for Halloween Horror Nights, and there was like a torrential downpour. It was like a normal storm. It wasn't like a hurricane yet. That water was like good calf height on me.
Shoot.
Okay.
You don't know what's in that water. Let me just tell you that. And like there were a lot of places where like you couldn't cut through the grass because there wasn't really any grass to cut through. So maybe bring an extra pair of shoes, extra pair of socks. If you wear flip-flops, like just be mindful that you might get in some sludge and get stuck. So like also maybe an extra pair of flip-flops.
Oh, yeah. Well, and honestly, you
and particularly with news like this. Ugh.
Yeah, you should not be walking around the parks in flip-flops. That's not good for your feet. You're gonna, I mean, you need some support. You need a good sturdy shoe, or wear some Crocs at least. But
no, we do not encourage you to wear Crocs.
Well, just be prepared. I think at the end of the day, yeah, you put them in sport mode. You're all good. So as we mentioned at the top of the show, it is, of course, August, which means it's Halloween season. And one of our favorite times of the year to talk about foodie guides, over at the Disney Parks blog, they dropped the Mickey's Not So Scary and Magic Kingdom Park food guide for the Halloween season. From August 9th through October 31st, you're going to be able to get a lot of these tasty treats. And I was just scrolling through this foodie guide. There are a ton of new items this year. I was really impressed. And like I said, there are like some of these are only available during the party, but there's a good chunk of these items that are going to be available during the regular park hours as well. So don't feel bad. Like if you're missing out on the Halloween party, there's still a lot of ways to celebrate with your taste buds. Get some of these really tasty treats, whether you like savory or sweet or whatever it may be. Pretty much any outlet you go to in Magic Kingdom is going to have something.
Ooh, Chipotle barbecue pork and street corn French fries at Casey's Corner. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Listen, anyone going to this Halloween party, I have a request for someone to try on behalf of the monorail this hand-dipped corn dog with spicy violet mustard and spicy cheese flavored snacks. Why can't you just say Cheetos? Like, I see what they're doing here. Interesting.
I will take one for the team.
Yeah, I would volunteer as well, possibly. But I will say that, like, I love that this is part of what they do for Halloween. And they did this back when they used to do the Villains After Hours party as well. Not a lot, but there are several items that they will do as a special food item that are real spicy, which is not something you can always get your hands on in the Magic Kingdom. And I love it. Yeah, that looks tasty to me. I think the violet really is just a reference to the color, because what would spicy violet mustard be?
Upon reflection, when I went back and looked at the photo, it's the color. I thought that was special. Listen, I read it and then I look at it and then I process it. It's not. I didn't say
originally, I thought you said violent. I'm like, well, what makes the mustard violent?
Not so violent.
Start some stuff.
Steffers, I'm surprised that your eyes weren't drawn to the dulce de leche peanut butter and chocolate sauce funnel cake. I know you're a funnel cake fan.
Oh, I love funnel cake. Good. Let me tell. Wait, where was that? I didn't even listen.
Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
Oh, it was right under. Yeah. See, I got distracted by the purple on the corner.
Topped with dulce de leche ice cream, Snicker bar pieces, and whipped cream.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, look, they got them ribs back. Just kidding. Those are chicken wings.
No, they're wings. But yeah,
those wings do look good, man. Sleepy Hollow has it going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Goodness. Like, I would try all this stuff. I'm not too into the red velvet cake push-up pop or whatever that is, but the rest of that stuff does look good to me. One of the things I'm always interested in when they do special foods for the seasons and the parties is what kind of special sandwiches they're going to have at Cosmic Rays. And they got a couple this year that I'm excited about. The Halloween pot roast sandwich with cheddar and horseradish mayonnaise served on a black bun. I would do that. I would totally do that. They also have a terrifying twice spiced chicken sandwich, spicy fried chicken breast dipped in hot honey, topped with pepper jack. and bacon and jalapeno popper. Oh my God. And Sinister Satay Burger, cocoa rubbed all beef patty with bacon, lime pickles, and Thai peanut sauce. I want all three. Give me the flight.
Sorry. There are two things upon re-reviewing this foodie guide. Did y'all see the sweet and spicy beignets, berry and cayenne dusted beignets with a coffee chocolate sauce?
Oh, yeah.
Say, what? And then if you scroll down past Cosmic Rays on this foodie guide, in which I am reading.
I'm stuck. I can't go past Cosmic Rays.
Look at this candy corn soft serve sundae and a sweet corn soft serve. No, thank you.
Sweet corn soft serve.
That is a lot going on.
No.
Sweet corn soft serve with butterscotch shell and candy corn.
Yeah, I don't like candy corn, but I would try the sweet corn soft serve. Yeah,
I would try during
that.
Normal park hours, so
Absolutely.
You can try it. I have a love-hate relationship with candy corn. When I was growing up, absolutely loved it. As I've gotten older, that sounds so dramatic. I'm not a huge texture, I don't care about texture typically when I eat, but it's like sugary bits and bobs, and I don't like that. It's just no, thank you. Anyway.
Well, looking at this foodie guide, there is a lot of sugar on this, so just FYI.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the Pinocchio Village House, that's not a place that I typically spend a lot of time because I don't really think that their typical menu is great. But for the Halloween season, they're going to have a creepy clam flatbread with bacon, black ink pesto romano, and Calabrian chili aioli. That sounds very interesting to me.
Getting clam from a theme park, particularly at Pinocchio Village House.
Maybe risky. That's the scary part, Landon. That's the scary part.
Touche, Justin. Touche. Yeah.
Just get it at the end of your visit is all I'll say. And don't plan anything for the next day.
So if it goes sideways, you can head back to your room. If I was going to get anything at Pinocchio, I might look at the sweet and spicy chicken strips tossed in Korean barbecue sauce, topped with black sesame seed, fried garlic, and hold the green onions. But I mean, they look good.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. I agree. That sounds good to me as well. I'm much more drawn to the savory food items than I am the sweet treats, I think, during these
agreed
food, during the seasons. One of the things that caught my eye, because I was like, wait a minute, where are they going to be serving a cocktail? Of course, it's at Be Our Guest, but they're going to have a special cocktail for the Halloween season. It's called the Handsome Brute, Tito's handmade vodka, Chambord liqueur, pomegranate juice, and lemon juice garnished with a sugar rim and raspberries. Probably pretty sweet, but I mean, it's exciting. The thing that caught my eye, though, I saw that, and then I looked up and I saw the bone marrow. Have you all ever had roasted bone marrow?
No,
I haven't either. But it's one of those things that I'm interested in.
Is it a tartare? What's that thing where you're supposed to scoop it onto the thing and you eat it? Whatever that thing is I've had that.
You can scoop it onto bread, like toast pieces or whatever.
Yeah. I've done that part. I don't know if I've had it in any other capacity other than that, but it was good.
It's good for you. But yeah, man, Be Our Guest catches a lot of flack because people don't love the menu and they feel like it's too expensive, and and fair enough, whatever. I've enjoyed my trips to Be Our Guest, but I think, I don't know, maybe I'm an easy critic. But there are some interesting things that are going to be there during this period of time, like the cast iron trout sounds good. The beef short rib and purple potatoes is a little sort of down the middle, but the roasted poulet rouge chicken, a lot of that sounds good to me. So maybe if you happen to have a Be Our Guest reservation over the next couple months and you try one of these, I'd love to hear about it, because I probably won't go in there during this period of time, but I mean, it's enough that I'm interested in a couple of those food items. I'd like to try them, but I just probably won't make it in. Friar's Nook even has a couple. I'm telling you, Friar's Nook is like a hidden gem to me in the Magic Kingdom. It's tucked away over there in Fantasyland. It's right beside the ice cream shop, and they've got you can get the buffalo chicken tots and some really interesting quick service items there. But if you're interested in checking out some of their Halloween treats, they're going to have a buffalo chicken hand pie, which sort of looks like an empanada.
Hand pie.
Yeah. And then they're going to have spicy pork spring rolls. That sounds good, with charred pineapple and scallion dust. And bowl of bones, bone-in piggy wings fried with fresh jalapenos and tossed in Coca-Cola cherry barbecue sauce.
Huh.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm telling you, like, I'm impressed with this foodie guide. I think they've really, like, who knows, how it's going to turn out taste-wise, or, they always make these things look so good in the pictures, too. And then they don't always, when they're served to you, they don't necessarily look like that. But I think that we're set up for a very tasty Halloween season in the Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest sipper guy, but I do want to point out the Minnie Mouse Hocus Pocus dress-up sipper does look really cool.
It does, yeah. It's another one of those that looks like it shouldn't be a sipper. Like the shape of the thing.
Yeah.
It's odd, but it does look good. If you are thinking about going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party this year, you probably need to make a decision on dates pretty soon, because some dates are selling out, including the first 5 dates of the party are already sold out. And then there's one in September, actually September 13th. That's the Dillos meetup party. September 13th. That Not So Scary party is now sold out. Landon, did you get tickets already for that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Me and Smoking Hot Girlfriend have gotten our tickets for that. So hearing that it has sold out makes me glad that we already did, but also hearing that it has sold out, boy, it's going to be very peoply in the Magic Kingdom that night.
Well, when the Dillos announced they're doing a meetup at Not So Scary, this is what happens. They pack the park out, I guess.
Either they pack the park out or people flee Florida. One of the two things.
Just me. Just me.
It's okay. It is okay. Maybe.
Well, let's hop over to Epcot, where, as we're talking about tasty treats, I wanted to mention this is a place that I still have not been. I would love to go. I think Cocktail Bob and his wife Christina actually went to this restaurant and they enjoyed it. But they have made updates to the menu and the pricing at Epcot's Takumi Te. Don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Bless you.
But thank you. But they made some updates to the menu. I think they, looking at it, looks like maybe they simplified it a little bit. I will say this. I mean, it's an expensive experience. It's $250 per adult plus tax and gratuity.
Shut up. What?
Yeah. They used to have a plant-based option that was priced at $150, but now that is also $250 a person.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're using more expensive vegetables or they were somehow losing money on that plant-based item menu. I don't know, but I don't typically think that a plant-based menu is like the ingredients are going to cost you nearly as much as the other stuff, but who knows?
This was something that me and the Smoking Hot Girlfriend considered kicking around going to on our upcoming trip. I think I've made my feelings on prefix menus known on previous podcasts, but if you are new, I'll go ahead and I'm not a fan of prefix menus, but $250 a head.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing that, I will never eat at Takumi Te, apparently.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I'm gonna be honest, looking at the menu, even like the plant-based and the non-plant-based, I don't see where $250 comes from. Yeah, you get to eat Wagyu beef, but I mean, $250?
Yeah.
I'm all for valuing your product. And if people will pay for it, good on you. But I am not one of those people that's going to drop $500 for me and another person to go eat.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a tough sell in a theme park. I mean, this could be a wonderful dining experience where you just feel like you've never had anything that tastes this good, and you have like an emotional experience when you eat the food. But like the only comparable dining experience that I've considered that would be almost just as expensive, or maybe actually I think it's probably more, I've wanted to do the chef table at Victoria and Albert's, and I feel like that to me is a better value. I don't know,
agree.
but I could be wrong. Too. Yeah.
Not to Kumite. You couldn't pay me enough, respectfully, because also typically that style of food does not keep me full for very long. So I'll eat it, and then I'll be hungry an hour or two later, and then I'll be sad because I spent $250 that I don't have.
So. Yeah, I just this is a hard pill to swallow, and again, if people are paying this, Disney can feel justified in charging $250. But looking at that menu, and to Stepher's point, I don't think she's the only one that would eat something like this, and then like an hour, 90 minutes, it's like you're walking around the World Showcase. It's like, dang, I'm feeling a touch peckish. Didn't I just drop like $600 for me, you, tax and tip to eat like 90 minutes ago? Let's get a bite to eat. That is not great.
Or you're just telling yourself, well, I guess I'm not eating for the next several days. This is going to have to last me. I'm drinking water. Yeah. But again, it could be delicious, and I don't judge anyone who wants to do it. If that's something that like that you feel like you want to treat yourself to, and you everybody justifies things in their own way, and they're like, oh, for me that's worth it, then great. For me that just seems a little much, especially on a prefix menu. I would see it if, like, imagine it's a whole experience where they only do one seating a night. And maybe you have like one-on-one experience with the chef, and maybe they even give you some like history around, some of the food and the culture and all that. Like, and it's more of a immersive educational experience, and then they kiss you at the end. Then maybe I pay $250. I don't know.
Well, for these prices, somebody better be kissing me at the end of the night. but yeah, if there's an experience attached to the meal, I would be more likely to sign up for something like this. But
yeah, it's tough. It is a tough pill to swallow. But anyways, while we're talking about restaurants in Epcot, we can also mention that the restaurant Marrakesh has reopened, but there's a caveat, as summer seating for all at Epcot. So the restaurant is still not operating, but they did reopen the doors, and at least it was used as a pass holder lounge earlier in the summer, but now it's just, I guess rumor is, according to Blog Mickey, they'll probably use this venue somehow for food and wine when that starts. But for now, it's a place where you can get some air conditioning. There's restrooms available. You can bring food and drink in there with you, but it's currently not operating as a restaurant itself. I mean, and that's sad to me because I actually really like Restaurant Marrakesh, and I feel like it's one of the more unique dining opportunities that you have in Epcot. And usually you could eat there and you didn't have to spend $250 a head to have a dinner. So, and you got to see belly dancing. So that was fun too.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. I hope that there's plans to bring it back eventually. I know they've been doing a lot of refurbishment in the Morocco Pavilion, and Disney's catching a little heat because, they tiled the fountain that's sort of in the center part of the Morocco Pavilion when you walk in, and it looks bland now. It used to be like, I think it was like Moroccan artists who had actually applied the tile work to that fountain originally, and now it just looks like it's a tile fountain. They kind of took some of the authenticity out of it. So I'm not sure what's going on over there, but I like the Morocco Pavilion, and I don't know. I'd love to see it back up at full strength.
I've never eaten at Restaurant Marrakesh, and like at this point, am I ever going to get that opportunity? That's now a question that I think needs to be asked, because you mentioned it's probably going to be used in some capacity for food and wine coming up, and we know how Disney and Epcot, like once they find an area where they can put people in for their festivals, whether it be food and wine. I mean, would it be that far gone of a crazy concept that they would put artists in there to display during Festival of the Arts? So, I mean, like once they find a spot where they can put people for festivals, I mean, I don't know if that necessarily bodes well for Restaurant Marrakesh's future.
Right. Yeah. As everything else has sort of gotten back to full operation, this is the one thing that still is like hanging out. And I'll be excited whenever they bring it back. I like that restaurant. So I would recommend giving it a try if it's something, and it does have some sort of unique food offerings. And if you're a picky eater, maybe it's not the place for you. But I would say if you're a little adventurous and you want to try something different, whenever it does come back, I would say check it out. So keep your eyes peeled, and I will be happy to report when it does open back up, and you can go check that out. One of the things I did not mention yet was we had been talking about the fact that at Hollywood Studios in July, Disney was testing out a single rider line for Rise of the Resistance. As of August, it looks like that test is over. And so they try to do it a couple different ways. There were different reports. Some people loved it. Some people hate it because it skipped a lot of the pre-show theming, and it kind of took you behind the scenes where there's not theming. And so you kind of lose that immersion. But it'll be interesting to see if that comes back. I think Disney's evaluating the data, and maybe if they do implement it permanently, it'll be something that they work out a better way to kind of get people, the single riders, to the ride where it's not so breaking the fourth wall, I guess. And maybe it's a little more immersive. They just need to theme the hallways out a little bit, make it look like you're walking.
There you go. Yeah. Like just have like some Wookiee graffiti in the hallway. There you go.
Exactly.
Boom, done and done. It's like I do hope they find a way to bring back the single rider option, because it's like when we talked about this originally, I think we all agreed if this is your first time riding Rise of the Resistance, definitely do not do single rider, because you do miss part of the pre-show and get into the feel of joining the Resistance, so to speak, and you get on the transporter and you're sucked into the tractor beam and you're brought on board the Imperial cruiser. That's the part where you come into the queue and you see all the stormtroopers, which is just such an iconic part of the ride, and just hell, Disney, I think, at this point. But I think we all also agreed, if you have been on Rise of the Resistance a handful of times, absolutely sign me up for single rider. So I do hope that Disney, A, re-implements the single rider, and B, figures out a better way to do this. Honestly, I would like to see more single rider options across the parks, period.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice. I think our friend Maz was talking about maybe if there were more single rider lines across the parks for more attractions, it would be a little bit of a better alternative for people who can't get approved for DAS passes anymore, because they do tend to be shorter waits and get you like closer to the ride faster. So,
that's a good point.
Yeah. So that could be an option. Credit to Maz. That's a good idea. I don't think it solves the problem, because
absolutely. Yeah. But it helps,
but it could help. Yeah. So, and then, of course, if you're traveling alone and there's always open spots where they're looking to like slot people into rides to fill a ride vehicle. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there for sure. Okay. Before we finish up with the Walt Disney World news, I wanted to just say really quickly, because I didn't mention this last week, but I got to see the Country Bear Musical Jamboree, the brand new show. And as you all know, as we were talking about the retheme for Country Bears, I was very skeptical about this. I was trying to be cautiously optimistic. I had listened to some of the music, and I read a lot about it. We talked about it a lot on the show, but I was worried that they were going to be painting themselves into a corner with this show, and it wasn't going to be quite as, in my opinion, like timeless, or maybe it would have just a less broad appeal to people. And so not this past weekend, but the weekend before, Cocktail Bob and I went to the Country Bear Musical Jamboree. And I just have to tell you, I loved it. I like 10 out of 10, no notes. I think they knocked it out of the park. I am so excited for what they've done with that show. One of the biggest improvements to me is the animatronics are so much smoother. And I think I told you the last time that I did the Country Bear Jamboree before it closed, I was distracted by how loud the animatronics are while they were moving and stuff. You don't hear them. It's like, that's like totally quiet. They've done some enhancements to the show to make it feel like there's more interaction going on in the theater. Like really, and the music is fun and it's funny. Like there were lots of times in the show where the audience was clapping along and then they were laughing and everybody was having a really good time. Young and old, everyone like that I could see really enjoyed the show. So I'm excited, and I want Landon, I would love for you and the Smoking Hot Girlfriend to try the show out whenever you're down the next time, like here in September, because I know that wasn't something, I don't think you'd ever even done the old Country Bear show. Is that true?
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I've never experienced any sort of Country Bear jamboree, as it were.
Yeah. So I really would love for you to try it. I think you're going to like it. And I'd like your review if you have a chance to do it on that trip. I want to hear what you think about it. So,
well, I'll definitely give it a shot. To hear you say 10 out of 10 no notes, though, I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. I don't know what I would. Okay, if I want to be picky, there's one thing I could say. There's a couple points in the show where it feels like it sort of stops dead and then they have to get it going again just between songs and stuff. And I was trying to think back, did the old show have those moments as well? I think that with the old show, it had a little better flow where it didn't feel like there were points that just kind of screeched to a halt. But this show does it a couple times. It's not offensive in any way where you're like, oh, now I'm totally taken out of it. But it's just like, okay, the energy gets taken down for a minute and then you have to kind of pick it back up. That would be my only picky comment. Otherwise, I think the music is fun. The songs are fun. The animatronics look great. The humor is good. Yeah, I'll be doing it again soon, I think, because I really enjoyed it that much.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. I think now we can hop on the bus and go up I-4 because it's time to go across the Universal with Steffers.
It's me.
Steffers, over to you.
It's me. So really exciting Universal news this week, in case y'all didn't hear, which you must be living under a rock if you did not hear. Also, side note, going across the country with Steffers next week. Hold on. Not next week, but the week after show, I'll have a trip report because the next week, probably while you're listening to this show, I'll be in Disneyland. My brain and dates. Like,
man, I was going to say, I wish y'all could see this, but you can see Steffers figure this out all in real time. This is great. Go to the YouTube channel.
Listen, next week, later that week, I will be in Disneyland. Listen, anyway, moving on to Universal news. I'm going to start with the small stuff because I think when we get to the nitty gritty, we'll have a lot to discuss. Something that Disney has been doing that now Universal is doing, they have a shoulder pet pygmy puff. In case y'all haven't seen it, is really cute. I used to have one, like the normal sized one when I was growing up, when Wizarding World first opened. It is $40 plus tax. It comes with a cute little carrying case. And
it better.
And that's all I'm going to say about
Going back to our Takumite conversation, it better kiss me at the end.
I was going to say, does it give you a kiss?
Cannot confirm nor deny. Our fave Halloween Horror Nights merch is out and being put out with new stuff. Lil Boo merch is officially on the shelves, y'all. Lil Boo is really prevalent in the All Hallows Eve boutique in Islands, but also I think they've sprinkled some stuff now in Five and Dime. Yes, they have. So you can go to either of those shops. I think you'll get a better selection at All Hallows Eve. It looks like at Five and Dime, it's just, is that a fan? There's a fan that has nothing to do with Boo, but there's a fan. A Halloween Horror Nights candle, a Lil Boo shirt, and a Lil Boo mug. All Hallows Eve boutique has like plushies. It looks like keychains, the mugs, and a different kind of shirt as well. So go check that out.
That little Boo plush is so cute. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to. Just for the Halloween Horror Nights people. I'll probably get one, but I'm actually going to Halloween Horror Nights this year, so I'm going to wait. Okay, so now for the big boy news, big girl news, big magical news.
whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. Big world news. Universal has finally unveiled the last world for Epic Universe. It is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. This is twofold, though.
We had no idea.
Thanks for the gasp.
They're doing something with Harry Potter.
Thank you. Really, I
You're
love
welcome.
that for us. The Ministry of Magic, they're doing this. I think this is a really cool thing. They're not only doing the British Ministry of Magic that we know from like the film, I guess they're both from the films, but from like the OG series, they're also doing a Paris version, which is from Fantastic Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is a 1920s place cachet. I'm going to say cachet. I don't know what the right. Accent mark means. Is described as a hidden, bustling shopping district in Wizarding Paris. And then you'll be able to travel across time and space to 1990s London using the Metro Flu, which is the mode of transportation by Flu Network in the Harry Potter films, for an adventure set inside the Ministry of Magic. So now let's get into the nitty gritty.
Yes.
There is a ride. Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, which Universal claims will employ first of its kind ride technology, including omnidirectional lifts. There was a YouTube video, as they've done for previous announcements, that kind of illustrate this. No idea how that's going to go, like how that'll be executed. But it looks really cool. It's giving like Mickey and Minnie's Rise of the Resistance kind of like
with a little Tower of Terror sprinkled in.
Yes, with a little Tower of Terror sprinkled in. Yeah, I think that's a great description. Essentially, after
every attraction at Hollywood Studios crammed into one.
Yeah, it was Mickey and Minnie's Rise of the Resistance. I don't know if I'm familiar with that one.
Mickey and Minnie's Rise of the Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Correct. After arriving in London via Metro Flu, guests will enter the Ministry's Grand Atrium and venture through other departments before boarding the ride to watch the trial of the villainous Dolores Umbridge until Umbridge attempts to escape. Guests then join Harry, Ron, Hermione, and a house elf named Higgledy. Stop it right now. I need some Higgledy merch. I'm already going to say that.
I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
In a thrilling chase that will propel them up, down, forward, backwards, sideways, and more. Diagonal? Like, what's the more? Throughout the Ministry as they try to capture Umbridge, all while dodging attacks from Death Eaters, rampaging creatures, and other hazards.
Yeah.
Hearing that reminds me of what is it? Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey? Yeah, the one where you go into Hogwarts.
Except,
Correct.
Let me sell this one to you, Landon. Have you ever wanted to ride an attraction that takes you right to the heart of a courtroom procedural?
As a matter of fact, yes, I have. As somebody who has seen a quarter of all Law and Order episodes, Jay, yes, I have. Dun, dun.
So they have a...
I just, like, my only request, Universal, if it's going to be anything like Forbidden Journey, please don't drop, like, giant spiders right in my face again.
Maybe
please.
they will. Maybe you don't know their life. I will say the concept art, that's the word I'm looking for the ride. It looks like a Tower of Terror, like enclosed space.
It does.
But if I'm guessing, it might use the same kind of mechanics Forbidden Journey does in terms of like the movement.
The Kuka arm, yeah.
Unclear. I do have a creator friend that is actually on the team.
Oh, wow.
Working on this Epic Universe situation.
Universal is going Kuka arm crazy because that I mean, you know, they're using that similar thing for the Dark Universe ride as well. Mm-hmm. It's not going to, the ride vehicle looks different, but I think it's still on a Kuka
same
arm.
concept.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't know if people really recognize this, but this atrium, quote unquote, that you get in the queue is, you're literally immersing yourself in the movies, just like you would in Forbidden Journey in the queue of the castle, in Gringotts when you're going through the bank. And I think that Universal does such a great job at executing these kind of queues. So can we just take a moment for the queue? just one moment.
How about a little noise for the queue? Yeah.
A little celebration for the queue.
I mean,
that was it. That was my moment.
You mentioned the queue, like when I showed this to the Smoking Hot girlfriend, it's like her and her daughter are big Harry Potter fans. It's like she mentioned, it's like, I just hope there's an option where I can go and experience the queue, maybe not even necessarily get in line for the ride, because she, to your point, Steffers, wants to be immersed in that.
Yeah.
Typically there is, I mean, you get in the line, but like you kind of like dip before you get on the ride kind of thing. So I'm interested how they are going to manage that. My question is, are the OGs reprising their roles to lend their voices to this ride, or are they using bootleg Hermione from Hogwarts Express?
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Let's find out.
Did the original actors sign their life away in perpetuity to Universal to say, yes, anytime you want to add something to the parks, we will come back and voice over, except for Hermione, who's never coming back. Emma Watson, no thank you. She's like, no thanks. I'm living my life.
Living my life. Anyway.
I mean, let's be honest. What's the dude who played Ron Weasley really doing?
Rupert Grint has a kid.
Oh, he's a dad.
Okay, all right. Well, he can take him to Universal, like
a new show.
Take him to Seuss's Landing while he does work. Come on,
Seuss's Landing.
Rupert.
I quit. Anyway, also something new, quote unquote, is a show. You can come face to face with fantastic beasts, but also beasts at Le Cirque Arcanus, a spectacular mix of live performers, puppetry, and special effects. There's aerialists. Guests explore the streets of wizarding Paris. They can use their interactive wands to cast spells at various locations, interact with fantastic beasts such as nifflers, bowtruckles, and a demiguise, and engage with enchanted objects in many of the storefront windows and other areas throughout the place cachet. So I'm assuming it's very... they're taking the technology that they use for Wizarding World and the current parks and carrying it over, which is really cool and nice to see. So this might be the nerd in me or just someone who likes to whatever, but I really like looking at the window displays and how they decorate all of the storefronts. So I'm excited to see what we get with the Ministry and this whole Le Cachet situation. There is also going to be a wand shop at Cosme Acajor Baguettes Magiques. Okay, listen, wow. I'm sure it's supposed to be French.
Nailed it.
But Stephanie cannot do all that. But you can find the finest wands designed by esteemed artisan and wand maker Cosme Acajor, which looks cool. I'm assuming it's more of like I don't want to say higher end. That sounds really aggressive, but it seems more like a boutique-y kind of vibe than like a wand shop. Like you get like Ollivanders. Because it looks like there's like glass displays and stuff based off of the concept art. Who knows the execution once it gets made, but good to know. Let's talk about food because we all love the food. There is going to be a French-inspired cuisine, Café L'Air de la Serene. Don't ask me if I pronounced that right because I have absolutely no idea.
I think you got close enough.
I think I did too. It is going to be a beautiful French cafe complete with French sandwiches, plats du jour, and desserts. I am very excited about the French desserts because if I know anything about the French is that they have delicious desserts. And that's really all I have. There's the well, that's all I got. The why did I decide to say all these names? Le Goblet Noir. Noir sounds right. An international dark witches and wizards seek privacy and a warm meal at this mysterious inn. So it's giving in when Harry runs away and everything's dark and spooky and all that, it's kind of giving that kind of vibe. Landon's probable favorite, the bar Moonshine. A taste of America, you'll find U.S. Quidditch team memorabilia on the walls and exclusive beers, wines, and cocktails on the menu.
Nice.
Hell yeah, give me the taste of America, none of this France magic stuff. Y'all got any magic Budweiser?
No, actually, probably they will, to be honest with you. They're also going to have
they will,
I really don't want to try a beer cart. They're going to have a beer cart. It might be, I'm trying to think of how you pronounce things. Nope, beer cart.
I don't know how to pronounce anything. I'm not trying.
I love how now you're abandoning. It's like, nope, I'm done. I'm done.
Well, it's a longer word with too many B's. Beerabor? Beerabo, maybe? The go-to place for a cold butterbeer alongside your adventure. Listen, if someone who can pronounce that will enlighten me, please go ahead. So they'll have the famous butterbeer carts like they do at Studios and Islands. There also will be a French confectionery, K. Ramel, and a and multiple gift shops, La Galleria, Mirafiques, and Tour and Flu. Isn't that just Flu Tour? In Flu Tour? Anyway. And I'm tired of
don't know
trying
who
to
you're
pronounce It looks like they're having I think the standard for all the portals or the worlds is about like two main restaurants, a nice little lounge bar area kind of vibe, and like one staple ride. I think that's something that's different about I think they're taking elements of success that they have from the Wizarding Worlds in Studios and Islands, and they're taking it and moving it here, obviously with updated technology. But like, I think they're doing the live show with the puppeteers and all that. I think is going to be like kind of like the Frog Choir, like the stage shows that they have at Islands, mixed with also like the Celestina Warbeck like small kind of thing. I think they're kind of taking elements.
But it looks to me like that's going to be in a theater, though.
Yeah.
Which is cool because, I mean, you don't really right now. You don't have like a Harry Potter theater show, and so that'll be a interesting addition.
AC?
I'm excited for that.
AC maybe.
AC, yeah, of course.
I think that'll be great because, you know, we dehydrate and we get hot in here. It's Florida. Sorry, I always have to just.
Got to bring it back to T-Swizzle. I get
it. Always. Hold on. I'm seeing if I missed anything else. No, I didn't. Okay.
Did either of y'all have a wand? Have y'all purchased a wand or even a wand or interactive otherwise?
I have a non-interactive wand.
So do I. Yeah. I have one wand. It is non-interactive. This might be controversial. Like if I'm going to Universal, I'm not gonna stand there and wave my wand at things. like I'm gonna ride the ride.
Way to phrase that, Steppers.
Maybe there was.
We're gonna clip that one and put it on social.
Probably. Yeah, I'm not like if I had a kid or if I was going with children like my nieces and nephews, like I absolutely buy them a wand and then like I would display them at home kind of thing and like take them to get a robe and all that stuff. I'm not judging any adults who do this. I'm just not a big enough fan for the actual casting, like the spell casting, that I don't it doesn't resonate with me as much. I just like the looks of the wands. I have Sirius's wand because that's always been, I think if I get a Harry Potter tattoo, I would get the runes on Sirius's wand tattooed.
Cool.
So there's like a significance for me, but you'll catch me buying a Niffler before I buy an interactive wand.
The thing is, I probably am the target audience for this because I like to stand around Harry Potter Land and wave my wand at things. So but no, I'm a large man child, so I like to play. You know, I've built a lightsaber, you know, in Galaxy's Edge. I'm surprised that I haven't caved yet and gotten an interactive wand. I like to stand and watch people do it. I just haven't done it myself, but maybe I will for Epic Universe. We'll see. Is that something you're interested in at all, Landon?
I'm going to be honest. I'm actually considering it when Epic opens. I haven't bought a wand, interactive or otherwise. And when the Smokeout girlfriend went down and went to Diagon Alley for the first time and had her magical experience, again, giant Harry Potter fan, she got the wand, she got the robe, and she tried to do the interactive stuff. And I was like, okay, this is neat. Hearing it's coming to Epic, and I assume the technology would transfer from one park to another. It wouldn't be like, oh, you got to have an Epic Universe wand, guys.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm actually considering it because, it's like don't love Harry Potter, but I do think this technology is cool. So I'm open to the idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I'll do it for Epic. Do it for Epic.
Do it for Epic.
So, well, I'll do it for Epic. I'm just saying I'm going to try to ride the ride, and then I'll wave my wand at things later.
Okay.
Listen, Epic Universe, I think at some point when we get more information, obviously, we're going to have to do a breakdown of like purchasing tickets and how actually getting into the park is going to work.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be so, based off of initial reports, I do think it's going to be a little convoluted and confusing and difficult, to say the least, for some people that like probably have never been to the parks before or whatever the case may be. So if I have one chance, one shot for the next like year to get into this park, like maybe I'm buying the wand, but I'm probably gonna get motion sick on this battle of ministry magic situations with the front back. Oh man. Motion sick.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm not as concerned about the motion sickness thing on this one because with the bigger ride vehicle, I don't know that it'll be moving quite as wildly maybe as the Forbidden Journey ride vehicle, but also I feel like they would have learned lessons from that experience, and maybe they will limit the exposure for motion sickness people, because Forbidden Journey when it opened was a vomit comet. Like everybody getting off of it was throwing up, and they had to tone it down.
I think what I need to do, which not to yuck your yum or whatever, because I know you can go to Universal all the time or whatever, but I think I need to make another trip and ride Forbidden Journey and see how I do as someone whose motion sickness is getting kind of worse, but also like I use patches and like I kind of can kind of gauge the roughness or whatever, because I haven't been on it since they updated anything. I've been on it maybe twice since it's opened. And then I was like, probably shouldn't do this.
I mean,
I stopped.
I'm not extremely motion sensitive, but I do every now and then, especially as I've gotten older, there are some attractions that really do trigger it for me and I have to take a little break. Forbidden Journey, when I've ridden it in the last couple of years, I don't have any issues with, but everybody's sensitivity is different. So you may still have some problems.
We'll find out.
Can't wait.
I'll have a barf bag handy and ready.
Yeah.
It'll be Harry Potter themed though.
The magical barf bag. Yeah.
Do they provide barf bags? No, right? You just gotta make it to a trash can. I probably just for the, I don't want to be that person that shuts down the ride because I puked. You know what I mean?
Nope. Nobody wants to be that person, I don't think. But
sometimes we are that person.
Sometimes you are that person.
Every time I puked at the parks, I've made it great distances. I've made it from Spider-Man to Confisco's bathroom. Nailed it.
That is
a trek.
Okay, all right.
And I've also made it oh no, what was my other trek? Oh, after you get off of Velocicoaster and like you gotta go to the Discovery Center and like sometimes you just don't know up, down, side to side. You gotta go up the stairs and get I've made that trek too. Not that I've puked after I've gotten on a Velocicoaster, but like typically my anxiety gets too high and I'm like, I gotta pee, but also maybe I gotta barf. So that I like go there just to make myself feel better. I do this.
Go ahead and print that on the brochure. Velocicoaster. You'll have so much fun. You'll have to pee and maybe barf.
Maybe barf.
Well, I do this thing where like my bladder for my anxiety shrinks, so then I have to pee right before I get on the ride. So I'm like, okay, if I focus on the fact that I have to pee, I won't focus on like the anxiety of being sick. Listen, it works.
Hey, you do what you got to do in these times, these troubled times.
I hate it here.
So Spidey makes you sick?
No, I used to do this really terrible thing, which I don't recommend. I would go on the Hulk and then I would go on Dr. Doom, and then I'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem, and then I'd get on Spider-Man, and the Wombo trio would not. It would just not work.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So yeah, and then
we call that the
would...
tossing cookies triple.
That old adage.
Yeah. So yeah,
we're breaking out that chestnut, are we? Yeah.
I typically don't do those 3, or like sometimes I can do Doom, but like I have to like take a breather before I get on Spider-Man because of the jerkiness. It's like the culmination of them, not them separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Anyway, that was your Universal news.
Well, so Steffers.
Only the best places to throw up. Thanks, Steffers.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
We're going to clip that and put it on social.
So another thing that I have not gotten to share with you guys on the show officially is that a couple of weeks ago, I got to go to SeaWorld and I was able to experience the penguin trick. I did it. I wrote it.
You did it.
Yeah.
In my honor.
And Steffers. Yeah, I knew that this would be of particular interest to you as you are our resident penguin lover. And I want to say it's a fun ride. It's definitely a family coaster. It's not like overly thrilling. It has like a nice little launch to get you started. It's got 2 launches on the ride. Yeah, it's got 2 little launches. I will say a couple things. The first of all, when you get started, it's like you're indoors and you're kind of like passing these Arctic scenes and stuff before you launch outside. I wish that was longer. I actually really like the indoor part of it where you're kind of zipping through because you're supposed to be on a snowmobile. That's the idea of the Penguin Trek ride vehicle. And it would be cool if there was a little more of that with some of the theming, getting to see like the penguins and the polar bears and the Arctic base and all that. It's really, really cool. The ride itself, it's fun. It's not very long, but it is fun. And I think that it's I think Slinky is maybe even a little more thrilling than Penguin Trek. It's pretty mild, like overall pretty mild ride. But
did you just say I'm sorry, you just compared it to Slinky?
Yeah, I think Slinky Dog is like for kids. Like if you're saying for kids who are new to coasters, I think Slinky is a step a little more closer to like a thrilling coaster than Penguin Trek. Penguin Trek is very smooth, and it's got some turns and hills, but I didn't ever like feel like any of it was like anything that would be too scary for like someone who's new or worried about coasters or anything. So I think it's a good. It lives up to its name. It's definitely a family coaster. It has a waist restraint, like no shoulder restraints, just waist restraint. The queue I was underwhelmed by. Like a lot of it is I guess you're supposed to be sort of in a science research base, but there's really not a lot to see. So that's, it is what it is. It's fine. But overall, then when you get off the ride, it filters you into the penguin encounter and you have to go through it. There's no way to not go through the penguin encounter when you get off the ride.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, but if for some reason this ride did trigger your motion sickness, they hold you up because people can still queue up just to go see the penguins. So you get off the ride and then you're stuck kind of in a line to exit, and you have to go through the little penguin area. And then even to get out of that, there's like a little airlock kind of thing because they're keeping it so cold in there where the penguins are. So I don't know. It's just kind of something to think about. Like, I don't think seeing the penguins is a bad thing, but it's just, it adds on to the experience a little bit and it takes a little time to exit. I guess it's sort of similar to if you were to ride the seas with Nemo and friends and it dumps you into the sea base, I call sea base alpha. You have to sort of walk through the aquarium and to get out of the ride. I guess it's a similar thing to that, but I don't think there are bathrooms in the penguin experience would be the only thing. But I liked it. It's good. It's cute. Also, Steffers, I had no idea that when you go into the penguin encounter that they do special lighting to mimic like sunrise and sunset for the penguins. So when we were exiting that area, it was sunset time and it was really cool. It was like, a nice orange hue lighting the penguins, and they were still running amok, being silly.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever said this no, I didn't because the ride wasn't open yet. But my friends Yes, I did mention my friends going to see the penguins to see if it was open. But I don't know if I mentioned that like a penguin fell out of the enclosure while my friends were visiting.
I didn't know.
And like, okay, yeah. So, I got a cute little video of a penguin was very intrigued by my best friend, and it like yeeted itself out of the enclosure. It was fine. I don't want anyone to cause like freak out. It was fine. Didn't hurt my friend. Didn't hurt itself. And then a person, team member, I don't know what they're called, yeeted it back in the
yeeted it.
So, technical term, of course, yeah.
Drop kick the penguin back into the
toss it like a football.
Yep. So yeah, fun facts, penguins are great and I want to ride it.
Well, so like Steffers, if you had been in that situation, you would have tried to like stuff the penguin in your backpack.
100%. For legal reasons, this is a joke, but also
you're like, you're coming with.
Yeah, we would have been talking. We would have been talking about Steffers in one of our stories about how a woman tries to steal penguin from SeaWorld.
Yeah, she would have a special. She's got a special Gimli seat in her studio that sometimes you'll be able to see now that you're watching us on video. She would have a special penguin seat right there beside Gimli, and they could just wrap up in blankets together.
Aww, and that would be so cool. Anyway, that's me dreaming. I'm gonna cry now.
Well, that was the SeaWorld news. Thanks, SeaWorld, for acknowledging the fact that, because we all know it's true that, of course, we are the official podcast of SeaWorld, and we've mentioned you once again. So congratulations to us, all of us, really.
Yep. Good job, guys.
Yeah. To wrap up today's show, I didn't plan a special segment today because I knew like we'd have a lot of news, and I was trying to catch us up on some of the things that I've gotten to try for the first time the last couple of weeks. But the last thing I wanted to mention was I finally got to see the Mega Movie Parade at Universal Studios. I saw it last weekend, and I was a little worried they were going to cancel it because there was an afternoon storm coming in. And
in Florida, what?
Can you believe it? But I think they actually kind of started the parade a little bit early to sort of beat the weather. But man, oh man, it was great. I loved it so much. And I knew that I would, just seeing the pictures of it, like the floats looked great, but I was excited about the characters and getting to actually interact with like the Sheriff Brody and the mayor of from Jaws. And then, getting to see Marty and Doc on the Back to the Future float. And man, it was just like, it was so fun. And the music is great. One of the things that I mentioned offline, I don't think I mentioned this on the show, was the way that they transition between the floats, like the overarching theme of the parade. They use the Universal music that you hear, like you go see a Universal movie, they put up their little production screen and you hear the da 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 da. So that theme is kind of like it's a remix rocked out version of it, but that it flows from one like song to the next as the movie floats are going by. And I enjoyed the classic Universal floats as much as I enjoyed the DreamWorks floats. There was a lot of energy with the dancers and performers. It was really, really good. And like what a wonderful addition. I can't believe it's been 2 years since Universal's had like a daytime parade, but I mean, it was worth the wait if this is what we were waiting for. It's a very, very good parade. Highly recommend making it a priority to get a good spot to see it. And it really helps to round out your Universal day, I would say. Stephanie, you look lost in thought.
No. Yeah, I just had a random thought. Do you recall, I don't know how long ago this was, but remember how they like updated or changed the dinosaur at the end of River Adventure? I'm like 95% positive that they like took it out and replaced it with a new one. I wonder if this is the recycled one. If that in fact was taken out and replaced with a new one.
Well, I guess it could be, but wouldn't that also mean they'd have to build like a back half of it? Because the dinosaur at the end of River Adventure is really just like the top half, isn't it? That comes out at you.
True. I mean, yeah, but that's still cheaper than like making a whole new one.
Yeah, That's true.
Isn't the one in the parade, isn't that like a puppet, not really an animatronic?
It is a puppet. Yeah.
Never mind.
Which I think is awesome. It gives it some human element, for the lack of a better term, interaction that an animatronic doesn't have. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It's like the Maleficent steampunk dragon over in Magic Kingdom is really cool. But at the same time, it's like, it's not like, acknowledging the crowd at all, where I think on the flip side, the T-Rex puppet can. I mean, it's not like, going to be signing autographs or anything like that. But at the same time, it does have a team member operated it, which I think in theory sounds really awesome.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to experience this for myself. And I'm glad that you were able to have such a great experience doing so.
It was really good. I had a good spot. I was like in front of where they used to always have the tribute store. And now, of course, they've moved the tribute store over near the Five and Dime. But over there near like Jimmy Fallon, it was a good spot to watch it, I'll say.
I'm still, I don't know. Anyway, we can talk offline about my findings, but
okay,
whatever. I think it's a possibility, but I love that you loved it, and I'm excited to see it when I go visit for the next.
Oh, I wanted to mention too, one thing I thought was kind of cool about each one of the individual floats. They do pretty creative things, because each one of the floats has like a little driver in there. And like, for example, the Jaws float, the person driving the float is sitting in the shark cage that's on the front of the float.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that is cool. Ooh.
Yeah, so a lot, like if you pay attention, you can see all the little drivers of the floats, and in several of them they do something creative, so it looks like they're sort of part of the theming. So it's cool, very cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you think in the future Universal will add and take away movies, or do you think this is the only iteration we're going to see of this parade, how it's running?
I mean, they could very easily like switch out movies if they wanted to. I guess, if they had like some new blockbuster DreamWorks flick that comes out. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It's like the new like the next Minions,
right?
Not Minions 5 or whatever, but like the
new version Minions. Of that is. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. They could. I think right now it's good because the DreamWorks representation they have on the floats represents the characters that are in the parks. So you get to see Poe and the Minions, and you get to see Shrek. No, there's no Shrek. Why is there no Shrek? I didn't see a Shrek. There's got to be a Shrek float. Okay.
Does there have to be a Shrek float?
I think there should be a Shrek float.
We got a new Shrek movie coming, next year, 2 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
There's no Puss in Boots either, is there?
No, there's no Puss in Boots, but I like for him to have his own float would be interesting. Like you would think that maybe they'd have them all on the same float together, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't give me that look, Steffers. I was so convinced, to me, it would be just like, oh, of course there's a Shrek float. And I was like, wait a minute, there's not. I didn't see a Shrek float. Weird. Weird.
Well, I mean, they took out Shrek's attraction not too long, or a few years ago, but
they took out recently. Jaws and all the other
they did take out Jaws.
Yeah, so Shrek, there's still room for Shrek in our heart.
Hold on. I would not put Shrek and Jaws in the same sentence, Steffers. Calm down. Slow your roll, Miss Universal.
But, I mean, they do have Shrek Swamp now, so he's not, out of the park.
That is true, yes.
Yeah, so, so he's still represented and still has a delicious pretzel that comes with green cheese, if you're interested in such a thing.
We love green cheese.
And the Swamp Dog. I highly recommend the Swamp Dog. It's good. All right. Well, that's really all I had planned for today. I one of the things that we've talked about doing is as we kind of move forward and continue to grow the show is the Monday Morning Monorail podcast, as you know it, that comes out on Mondays, is always going to be heavily news focused. We always like to focus on the headlines. But we don't, sometimes obviously, every time we go long talking about the news because there's always so much to talk about. And sometimes it's hard to squeeze in things like M3-4D or Fast Pass Snack Break Standby, which I got out of order. But I know. But we still want to do those things. So one of the things we've been talking about sort of behind the scenes is maybe what we do is we always have our little Monday show. And then we do an additional show that would come out off cycle. That would be like the M34D, the Fast Pass Standby Snack Break, Steffer's Sensational Snack Station, all those things where we do our fun alternate segments that are not news focused. So something that we're working on in the background. Don't worry, those things are not going away. We know that people enjoy our non-news segments, so we're not getting rid of them, but we are kind of tooling around with the idea of maybe just releasing them as like separate little things that come out again, like off cycle. The other thing is we are going to do a live show this month. However, am I hearing I'm going to have to do this live show by myself?
It's kind of looking that way, buddy.
So really, if we do it third Tuesday of the month, it's the 20th.
No, Steffers will be back. Steffers will be here.
Okay, so
third Tuesday of the month.
Yeah, so Steffer, it's August 20th. Yeah, and
Steffers
so Landon's
will be jet lagged, but she'll be ready and fueled with Disneyland excitement or withdrawals. Hangover? Words.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. You'll be like fresh off the Disneyland trip. So interesting. We'll have to think about like the
22nd?
20th.
The 20th.
20th.
Yeah. That Tuesday, the 20th.
I will be in Chicago.
Okay.
Wait,
Chicago.
no, I will be back. Oh. So you will not be going by yourself.
Okay. All right. So we'll all be there. So my idea for that live show was to do our hype list, because we talked about putting together a Halloween Horror Nights house hype list. And of course, from Steffer's and my perspective, like ours will be approaching it from what we are most excited to experience. Landon is going to come at it from more of the perspective of, hey, I'm not going to go in those houses, but these seem like the most interesting concepts that I would love to see how they're going to execute them. So a couple different perspectives.
Of course, we already know what number one is.
I don't want you to say it. Don't say it.
Jay. You know what number one is, right?
Yeah, I think I do. I'm not happy about it. No, I won't say it.
Steffer, say it.
The Finnegan's Bar.
No, that is not it. That is not it.
Oh.
Fine, I won't say it.
Save it for the live show.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But until then, we're going to keep bringing you the Monday morning shows. And like I said, we'll just considering some options and how we execute some of the other stuff. But until then, keep joining us right here on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast and in all of our other places. And we need to tell people where we can find each one of us out on the interwebs. So, Steffers, would you like to let people know all about what's going on with Sippin' and Bitchin'?
You really just enjoy saying, I think, Sippin' and Bitchin'. I think that at this rate, that is
I get a free
where we're
pass.
At. Yes, you do. Sippin' and Bitchin', we have, hold on, I got to check my calendar because clearly I don't know anything. So there's no new episode this week, but next week we will have a new episode. It is the last episode of the books that are already out. On the 13th, a new book comes out, but we're going to give ourselves like 2 weeks to read and like take notes and figure out all the gushy stuff that we've been waiting so impatiently for. Also, fun fact, next week, when you listen to my voice next, I will be a whole year older.
Wow.
Go me.
Yay.
Yay. Really, I can tell that you guys are so excited. So yeah, Sippin' and Bitchin' on everything and the YouTubes and Adventures with Steffers. Make sure you follow me on Instagram because I will be posting stuff from my Disneyland trip. Obviously, I'll talk about it on here when I come back, and I'll try to cross post or like share some other things that the Monorail fam will love, but like a bunch of things are unfiltered will be on Adventures with Steffers. So
the raw, unfiltered Steffers content.
Wow.
She'll be waving her wand
Steffers
at things.
At dark.
Wrong park. Gosh, wrong park. Anyway,
but you have to ask a cast member where Harry Potter World is when you get to Disneyland.
I will never do that because I would embarrass myself. But anyway, but we can plug that again next week because I still have a little bit of time before I go. So Sippin' and Bitchin', Adventures with Steffers, and Monday morning or morning monorail on everything, including the tube of you. Yeah. So go do that. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks. Bye. All right. How about you, Landon? Are you starting a podcast called Sippin' and Bitchin' as well?
I was going to, but apparently somebody already took that name, so so no new podcast announcement at this time. Okay. But in lieu of that, you can follow me on the Bird app, LANDOZ. Please go follow me, Landon Doan. I'm the best, Landon Doan, not the rest. That's where you can follow me 280 characters at a time. I also run a website, buttmunchchips.com. Butt Munch Chips.
Sit on your butt and munch.
But instead of going there, go to bonfire.com and search Living with the Landon. That's where you can get your official Living with the Landon merchandise as I, Landon Doan, April 1st, 2025, will turn 40. And to celebrate the occasion, I'm heading down to Epcot and will be writing Living with the Land as many times as I can on April 1st, 2025, raising money for Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee, a food bank here in East Tennessee, with all money raised earmarked for the Food for Kids program. So any money raised through the merchandise past the cost to make it will go directly to Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. We're also still in the process of working with Second Harvest to set up a donation page. So head over to the website, morningmonorail.com. Keep an eye on that. That is where that website will launch once we get that set up. And I also appear on the Phil Show, News Talk 98.7 WOKI radio station locally here in Knoxville, Tennessee, streaming 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at newstalk987.com.
Woohoo! That's all the stuff.
Yeah.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to subscribe to the Monday Morning Monorail podcast on YouTube because we are posting videos. I actually posted my full mega movie parade experience on the YouTube. And I think that other than there was some wind noise because, like I said, a storm was coming. There's some wind noise in the video, but otherwise I think it turned out pretty well. So I'd like for you to check that out. And also, if you want to see me wave my wand at things, come to the YouTube. I'm waving my wand at you right now.
He is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm never going to live me saying that down, and it is now embedded in the internet forever.
It's a fun thing to do, Steffers. It's very fun.
Put that wand down. Put it down.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Yeah.
It's a family show.
You're gonna put somebody's eye out.
This is my wand that I mentioned earlier. It's not interactive, but it is, of course, Harry Potter's wand. So that's the one that I have. And if you want to see it, then check us out on the YouTube. You can also follow us on all the socials at Morning Monorail. We have a Facebook group, Monday Morning Monorail Family, and then we have a Discord that you can join and interact with us all week long. Thank you all so much for doing those things. But even if you just come here and listen to the Monday show, we are grateful for you. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And you know what? Don't forget the people that make the magic. When you're in the parks, make sure that you thank a team member, thank a cast member, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.